perspective on a different meaning to long-haul side effects of COVID-19. Those are the emotional and financial health of survivors. Marcy Miles Clark and her husband were some of the country's earliest patients, and she's behind one of the early books on the pandemic, too. She is on the line with us after releasing Praying Wife, Healed Husband. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Drew. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad to talk with you. You got sick in March 2020. Your husband almost didn't make it?
That's correct.
Tell me about that. You guys, you were in the hospital, or you both were in the hospital for how long?
Yeah, so we both contracted COVID mysteriously. I was not in the hospital. I didn't get that sick, but my husband was. My husband ended up having an emergency intubation after being sick for a week. And he was in the hospital for a total of 46 days and 28 of those days on the ventilator in a medically induced coma.
My goodness, and you really think about those early weeks in this, so many unknowns and how the course of this pandemic has evolved. I can only imagine what you were going through personally. And you know the importance of relationships with personal physicians. You actually provided, I saw, email communications that kind of transport us to those anxiety-ridden days. How did that make a difference for you?
Yeah, having a relationship with a personal physician was everything, Drew. My husband's personal physician saved his life, literally. Like I said, he was actually sick for about a week or so. It was just, normal flu-like symptoms, but he had a really bad cough. And so it was a recommendation of his personal physician to keep an eye on him. And basically, if he got sicker, within that time period, he wanted me to take him into the ER to get a CAT scan, just to evaluate his lungs. And that was what we did. And he called ahead and opened up doors for us to actually go into the ER. And my husband ended up having an emergency intubation 45 minutes from the time that he arrived. And it was his personal physician, literally, who set everything up and just made it possible for him to get in immediately. We had no idea he was in lung failure, so timing was everything, and that relationship with that personal physician was just a lifesaver.
My goodness, yeah, you weren't just a number, you were people and known personally.
Yes.
You are a licensed insurance consultant, so you stress the need for good health and living policies.
I absolutely do, yes.
What did you learn, too, about critical planning documents?
Yeah, it's really important to just have everything in order. You just don't know. I think more than ever, we just live in times of uncertainty. And so it's really important to just have all of your documents together, your living wills. You want people to know if you get really sick, like my husband did, do you want to have end of life measures? Do you want to be resuscitated? All those good things. You need to communicate your wishes. You need to have a power of attorney. If you become incapacitated and you're unable to make your own decisions, you need to have somebody appointed to be able to make those decisions for you. You need to just have what I call your last will as well. You need to convey those wishes. Do I want to be buried? Do I want to be cremated? How you want to have your funeral services laid out, your assets, all those things are just so important, probably now more than ever, because we just see, the world is just changing and there's just so many people just dying and getting sick in record numbers. And I think it really has hit home for folks that today or tomorrow is really not promised. And it's so important just to have our financial houses in order now more than ever.
And no matter your age, because you do not appear to be of an age that would, be top of mind, but what powerful perspective to keep in the forefront. Marcy Miles Clark, thank you so much for your time. And again, the book is Praying Wife, Healed Husband. You can find that and learn so much more about their story. We thank you again.
Thanks for having me.